Shut up. Just shut up, alright? You got dreams, yeah? You got ambitions? Then quit whining. Nobody gives a damn about your struggles. That's the thing no one tells you. You think people care. They don't. All they see is results. All they want is the product. Silence is the only voice you need, the only friend who sticks around. So sit down, grind, and bury the noise deep. This world isn't built for the weak. Every second you waste complaining, there's someone else out there, biting the dust, chewing on the hard part. They ain't saying a damn word. They're just putting in the work. You want to stand out? Do it in the shadows. Make moves they'll never see coming. Out here, silence screams, louder than any word you'll ever spit. That's the only language worth speaking. You know, they'll doubt you. Laugh, think you're soft. Let 'em. It's fuel, feed on it. Every doubt, every damn insult, stack 'em up. Let it build inside, cold, calculated. You don't need to explain yourself, no need to broadcast your intentions. Move like a ghost, stay under the radar. Strike when no one's looking. That's power, real power. Keep that anger bottled. Turn it into pure, raw focus. Let it drive you forward without a single word. You're sitting here thinking you need validation. Approval? Who's that for, huh? Weakness. That's all it is. You want to be remembered? You don't beg for it. You don't ask, you just make it happen. You carve your place out of stone and grit and sweat, where nobody else is willing to bleed for it. That's the truth of it. The only thing that separates you from them is what you're willing to go through without anyone knowing. They're all out there talking, bragging, wasting time, posting every little thing they do, like someone cares. You think anyone's paying attention? Nah. People forget quick. Only results stick. So work in silence. Let every hour you spend grinding in the shadows build into something they can't ignore. You want to be a legend, then act like it. Legends don't ask for applause. They leave marks no one else can erase. Every time you think about quitting, every damn time you want to say it's too much, remember who's watching. Not your friends, not your family. No one's there. It's just you. So what do you got to prove? Everything, every damn thing. You owe it to yourself, not to anyone else. Silence is your weapon, and patience is your shield. People talk because they're afraid that silence will expose them for what they are. Weak. You're not like them. You don't need to shout. You don't need the crowd. The real ones, they're out here in the dark, doing what needs to be done without a single word. They grind, they fail, they get back up again and again. No one sees it, No one cares. And that's exactly what gives them power. They're invisible until they're undeniable. Ask yourself, why do you do this? For fame? For money? Hell no. Those things don't last. You're here to build something real, something that'll outlive you. A legacy etched in silence. You think any of the greats wasted time talking about what they were gonna do? No. They showed up, they did the work, and they let the world see the results. Nothing more, nothing less. People are addicted to noise. Every damn day they're feeding on distractions, getting high on empty praise, and they're too blind to see they're wasting their lives away. Not you. You're different. You don't need the noise, don't need the spotlight. Let them all chase the applause while you build an empire brick by silent brick. Every time you sit down to work, every single time, there's a battle going on. Not with anyone else, just you. The weak version of you that wants to slack off, to take the easy road, to go out there and complain, moan about how hard it is. That voice, that's the voice of failure. And every day you either let it win or you shut it up and prove who's in charge. Look around every so-called success story. They're living on borrowed time. They talk about the grind, but they're just cashing in on what's popular. You're not like that. You're here to build something that can't be faked, can't be bought. You're not just playing the game, you're rewriting the rules. And the first rule, no one needs to know. Because real moves happen in silence. Real power doesn't need a spotlight. Keep pushing. Every day, hit it harder, go deeper. Every setback, every damn struggle, use it. Let it sharpen you, make you stronger. People don't get it. They don't understand that pain is fuel. The more they throw at you, the harder you hit back. Not with words, not with empty promises. Just action, pure and silent. When they're out there showing off, you're working. When they're bragging about half-baked ideas, you're executing, building the foundation they're too lazy to even dream about. That's the difference. You're not here to play. You're here to dominate, to carve out a place where they'll know your name, but they won't know how you did it, because by then it's too late. By the time they hear about you, you're already 10 steps ahead, out of reach, untouchable. And that's why you keep quiet. The second they hear you, they start watching, start scheming. But when you move in silence, they got nothing on you. They're playing catch-up while you're already finishing the race. That's power. The kind they can't take from you, the the kind they can't imitate, because they don't have the guts to work for it, without showing off. So let them doubt, let them sleep. Every second they waste is a second you're gaining. This game, it's rigged for those who know how to play it, and you play it by staying in the shadows. This ain't about being famous or liked. It's about respect, the kind that doesn't fade, the kind that comes from being relentless, unbreakable. They'll call you crazy. They'll say you're wasting your life. Let them. They don't know what it means to be hungry, to be so damn driven that nothing else matters. You don't need their approval. You don't need their encouragement. You're your own fuel, your own motivation. When you wake up, when you push through every hour, it's not for them. It's for that vision that's burned into your mind, the one that only you can see. So stay silent, keep grinding. Let them talk themselves into circles while you're out here building. One day, when they finally realize what you've been up to, it'll be too late for them to catch up. They'll be left in the dust wondering how you did it. And you'll just keep moving forward without a word, without a hint. They don't see the hours you put in when everyone else is asleep. They don't know what it's like to stare at that screen, your eyes burning, your mind pushing back against every ounce of fatigue. They don't know, and they don't need to. This isn't their journey, it's yours. Every second you spend in the dark, working, grinding, it's another brick in the fortress you're building, the one no one else can touch. You're not out here for the applause. Applause fades. You're out here to build something that stands when all the noise dies down, when everyone else is gone. People get caught up in showing off because they're afraid of being forgotten. They're scared they'll fade into nothing if they don't keep reminding people they exist, not you. You don't need that kind of validation. When you're done, your work will be loud enough to speak for itself. Keep it quiet. Don't give them the satisfaction of knowing what you're doing. People are always looking for ways to tear you down, to find cracks in your armor. Don't give them a single opening. Let them guess. Let them wonder. By the time they figure it out, you'll be so far ahead they won't even be able to follow. Every day, they're wasting time thinking they're ahead, thinking they're better. Let them. It's fuel. Use it. You don't need to tell them what's coming. They're not ready to understand anyway. They're comfortable. They're safe. They've got their little routines, their little worlds. And when you break out, when you rise up, it'll shatter everything they thought they knew. It's not about proving them wrong. Hell no. It's about proving yourself right. Every doubt, every insult, every time they look down on you, it's just noise. And while they're stuck listening to the noise, you're here, tuning it out, focusing on what actually matters. You got this vision, something raw and pure, and you'll make it real without a single damn word. People talk because they're weak. They use words as shields, something to hide behind. Silence is different. Silence takes guts. Silence means you trust yourself enough to keep going, no matter what anyone else thinks. Silence means you don't need anyone's permission to keep climbing, to keep pushing. They don't know what that's like. They can't understand it because they're too scared of what people will say. But you're beyond that. Every day you put in work, every hour you keep grinding. It's another step closer to something they can't even imagine. But you can see it, clear as day. You know what you're after. You know the kind of strength it takes to stay silent, to let them think they're ahead while you're out here, building something unstoppable. Let them laugh, let them doubt. It's all fuel. Every single word they throw at you. It just makes you sharper, harder. And when it's done, when you're finally ready to show them what you've built, it'll be too late. They'll see the strength of silence, the power of a mind that didn't need their approval, didn't need their support. By then, they'll know they were wrong, but they'll have no way to reach you. Because while they were talking, you were rising. This isn't a sprint. This is the long game, and you're built for it. Day by day, hour by hour. You're getting stronger. You're working. While they're sleeping. While they're wasting time. You don't need to brag. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Just keep building, keep grinding in silence until there's no one left who can deny it. Because in the end, silence wins. Silence stays when all the noise fades. That's the real power. And you're becoming that power, one silent step at a time. Let them play their games. Let them live in their distractions. You're above it. You're beyond it. You're creating something so powerful, they won't even see it coming. Let them keep chasing the easy path. They're so damn eager for shortcuts, they can't even see they're just running in circles. But you're different. You're not here for fast results or a quick payoff. You're here for something that lasts, something built on every painful, silent night. You've poured into it. This isn't some fleeting victory. This is your legacy. And legacy isn't made by screaming into the void. It's made by mastering the silence. Every time they show off, every post, every word. Remember what it's worth, nothing. It's a game of hollow moves, empty actions that'll fade as fast as they appeared. But what you're doing, it's real. Every bit of sweat, every hour you put in. It's adding weight, solidifying something they could never hold because they don't have the guts to grind without showing it off. This isn't just work, it's war. And the battlefield, it's right here in the shadows, where nobody's watching, where nobody's keeping track. This is where you prove to yourself that you're unstoppable. You don't need an audience for that. You don't need applause or validation. Every time you choose to grind in silence, you're making yourself untouchable, unbreakable. They don't get it. They don't understand that every second they spend looking for praise, for recognition, you're gaining ground. Every second you stay quiet, stay relentless, you're separating yourself from the pack. And one day, when they finally notice what you've been building, they'll realize just how far you've come. But by then, they'll be too late. They'll be looking up at a mountain they'll never climb. Silence is a weapon, the most powerful one you've got. Because silence is what keeps you focused, keeps you sharp. It lets you see the truth without distraction. And the truth is, you don't need anyone's approval to reach the top. You don't need anyone's belief in you, but your own. You're not here for them. You're here because you've got something to prove to yourself, something they could never understand. They want the glory without the grind, the reward without the sacrifice. That's why they'll never last. Because when things get hard, when the path gets dark, they'll crumble. They'll walk away, blame everything else but themselves. But you're here to endure, to push through every dark moment, every setback, without a word, without a complaint. You're here to prove that silence is stronger than any noise they could ever make. There's power in restraint, in holding back until the right moment. Let them keep talking. Let them throw every word they've got. They don't know that every time they waste their breath, you're stacking up strength, building layer after layer of resilience. Because while they're distracted, you're honing yourself into something they'll never be able to compete with. And yes, sometimes it's gonna hurt. Sometimes you're gonna question if it's worth it. But pain is proof that you're moving forward. Pain is what separates you from them. They run from it. They hide from it. You face it head on. Take every hit and keep moving. That's what they'll never understand. They'll never know what it means to sacrifice without anyone watching, to push yourself when no one else cares. They think it's about the big wins, the loud victories, but that's not it. Real victory isn't loud, it's quiet, steady, a relentless climb that nobody sees coming. They'll only notice when you're at the top, looking down, and by then it'll be too late for them to figure out how you got there. Because you didn't need to tell them. You didn't need to prove anything to anyone but yourself. Remember that every time you're tempted to show them, to let them in. Resist. Let your actions speak. Let the results do the talking. And by the time they realize what you've built, you'll be beyond their reach. They'll see what silence can build, what discipline can achieve, and they'll regret every second they wasted. This is your journey, your grind, and it's yours alone. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't owe anyone a glimpse of your work. All you owe is to yourself, to keep going, to keep building, to keep moving in silence until they can't ignore it any longer. And when that day comes, they'll finally understand the strength of someone who didn't need their approval to succeed. But until then, stay quiet. Let them sleep. Let them talk. Let them waste their energy while you're conserving yours, channeling it into every step forward. Because one day they'll see it. They'll look back and they'll wonder how they missed it, how they didn't see you rising. And you'll just keep moving without a word, without looking back, because you're built different. You don't need to show it. You're here to live it, to prove it to yourself. And that's all that matters. Keep grinding, keep going, and let silence be your strength.